The night sky wept as if sharing her pain. Rain lashed against the pavement. Thunder grumbled in the distance. And in the middle of the deserted road, a young mother stood shivering, clutching her little boy against her chest. Her voice was hoarse from crying. "Please, someone help my child." But no one stopped. Cars sped past, tires splashing dirty rainwater onto her worn shoes. She sank to her knees beside the dim streetlight, whispering, "Please, God, not tonight. He's burning up." Then, through the storm, a sleek black car slowed to a halt. Its headlights cut through the darkness, and for the first time that night, hope flickered. Evelyn hadn't planned to be on that road. She was running, from bills, from disappointment, from a life that had been kind only in promises. Her husband had abandoned her 2 years ago, leaving her with a 4-year-old boy named Noah and a heart full of unpaid rent. She worked 2 jobs, barely enough to keep food on the table. That night, she was rushing home from a late shift when Noah started coughing violently in the back seat. His tiny body trembled, and by the time she pulled over, his breathing was shallow. Panic gripped her. Her phone battery had died, her wallet was nearly empty, and the nearest hospital was miles away. So she did what any desperate mother would. She stood under the rain, waving her arms, crying for help. And that's when the black car appeared. The door opened, and a tall man in an expensive suit stepped out. His umbrella unfolded with a click. "Are you all right?" he asked, his voice calm but alert. "My son, he can't breathe." Evelyn cried, her voice breaking. "Please, I don't know what to do." Without hesitation, the man crouched beside the child. "I'm a father too," he murmured, touching Noah's forehead. "He's burning up. Get in the car." She hesitated. Everything in her life had taught her not to trust strangers, especially rich ones. But the kindness in his eyes silenced her doubts. Within minutes, they were speeding toward the city hospital. As the car sliced through the rain, Evelyn sat trembling in the back seat, whispering prayers while the man kept glancing in the mirror. When they reached the hospital, he rushed Noah inside, paid the admission fees before Evelyn could protest, and stayed until the doctors confirmed Noah would be fine. Tears streamed down Evelyn's face. "I can't repay you," she said. The man smiled softly. "You don't have to. Just promise me, when you can, help someone else the same way." She nodded, not knowing this moment would change both of their lives forever. Days passed. Noah recovered. The mysterious man, who introduced himself as Daniel Gray, CEO of a large real estate company, visited them twice more before disappearing quietly from their lives. Evelyn thought about him often, not because of his wealth, but because of the gentleness he carried. It was the first time in years someone had seen her not as a burden, but as a human being. Inspired by his words, Evelyn started making small changes. She volunteered at a local shelter, bringing leftover bread from her workplace. She began to believe that maybe life could still bloom from her brokenness. Years rolled on. Evelyn found stability working as an assistant at a community center. Noah grew strong, curious, bright, and full of questions about the man who once saved him. One winter evening, the shelter where Evelyn worked was nearly out of funds. The roof leaked, and children huddled close to stay warm. She thought about giving up, about closing the doors for good. But then she remembered Daniel's words. When you can, help someone else the same way. With trembling determination, she started a fundraiser. She walked door to door, asking for donations, writing heartfelt letters to local businesses. One letter reached an office downtown. It landed on the desk of Daniel Gray. He read her words twice, his heart tightening as he remembered that stormy night years ago. He had helped many people since then, but her face, soaked in rain and courage, had stayed with him. That night, Daniel made a call. By morning, Evelyn received an anonymous donation large enough to save the shelter, signed only with 2 words, "Keep going." 10 years later, Evelyn's life had changed beyond recognition. The shelter she once fought to save had expanded into a full-fledged community hope center, helping hundreds of families each month. She had become a beacon of compassion, known not for what she owned, but for what she gave. Meanwhile, Daniel's company faced a major crisis. His reputation was under fire after a partner's scandal left him accused of corruption. Overnight, friends vanished, investors turned cold, and the media painted him as heartless. One evening, broken and exhausted, Daniel walked aimlessly until he found himself standing outside a familiar building, the Hope Center. He stepped inside quietly. And there she was, Evelyn, speaking warmly with a young mother holding her baby, her smile radiant and steady. When she saw Daniel, her eyes widened. Mr. Gret, he managed a tired smile. Seems like I'm the one who needs help this time. Evelyn listened to his story, tears glimmering in her eyes. Then she said softly, "You once told me to pass kindness forward. Maybe it's come back to you." Days later, she organized a charity event that not only cleared his name, but restored his faith in humanity. Through her, the world saw the real Daniel Gray, a man whose quiet compassion had saved lives long before any headlines. As the sun set on the day of the event, Daniel looked at Evelyn and said, "That night, I thought I was saving you. But maybe you were sent to save me." She smiled. Kindness never leaves. It just finds its way home. Dizzy moral of the story. One selfless act of compassion can spark a chain of kindness that circles back when we need it most.